Good day everyone, my name is Punchy. In today's video, we're going to talk and have a practical on the IMG tag, the SRC attributes, the width and the height attributes, and the two ways of imputing or assigning URL to the SRC attribute. First, the IMG tag is used to embed an image in an HTML page. The SRC attributes specify the path to the image to be displayed. If you check this example here, you will see that the img underscore girl.jpg assigned to the SRC attribute is the path to which the image to be displayed. Attributes are always specified in the start tag. Like we said earlier while we we're talking about the href attribute, that attributes are always specified in the start tag. Now let's talk about the two ways to specify the URL. That is the two ways of imputing or assigning addresses to the SRC attribute. We have the relative URL and we have the absolute URL. The absolute URL links to an external image that is hosted on another website. The issue with the absolute URL is that external images might be under copyright, and if you did not get permission, you may be in violation of copyright law. You can't even control external images. External contents or images can suddenly be removed or changed. Alright, let's talk about the relative URL. The relative URL links to content that is hosted within the same website. Here, the URL does not include the domain name. If the URL begins without a forward slash, it will be relative to the current page. So here, you don't need to attach the domain name to the URL. The only thing you just need to do is just to identify the directory or the path where the file could be found. It's almost the best to use relative URLs. They will not break even if you change the domain name. Lastly, the width and the height attributes specify the width and the height of the image. So it's now time for to have a practical. So let's get started. First thing we are going to do is that we are going to create our new file. But before we do that, I want to show us the images we'll be using for this project. So here are the two photos or images that we want to include or we want to impute into our HTML page. Let us go back to Visual Studio Code. Now let's create our file. We name it img.html. Press enter. Permit me to copy these lines of code. I will explain them later. Paste. The new syntax that we have here is the img syntax, and the img syntax is being preceded by the HTML SRC attribute, and here is the URL, which is the value assigned to the SRC attribute. So this is the location or the address where the images can be found. Now let's save this up. Let's minimize the Visual Studio Code. Let's bring this here for now. Now let's open our img file. Now if we scroll down, we see the two images here, but they are not aligned. So, and this will bring us to the next attribute, which is the width and the height attribute. So let's minimize that. Let me come here and just copy these three lines of code. So here we are. Let's paste it here. Good. So in here we apply the width and the height attribute by assigning values to the width and to the height. Here we impute an empty HTML element to break or to make our contents to move to the next line on our page. So let's save this up. Let's minimize. Now let's go again. img. So this is the previous ones, and here is the new tags that we applied the width and the height attribute on. in here, and here we have the width and the height attribute. In our next class, we are going to discuss HTML styling, where we are going to learn on how to arrange and align our content on our HTML page. Thank you for your time. See you in the next class.